This graph maps out our baseline assumption of human history, a steady climb. We assume that technological progress is a continuous, unbroken line moving directly from primitive tools to the sophisticated machines of the modern world. Every generation naturally knows more than the last. But in 1901, a crew of sponge divers operating off a tiny Greek island stumbled into something that broke that timeline completely. Deep beneath the Aegean Sea, they found the scattered remains of a 2,000-year-old Roman merchant ship. Among the bronze statues and jewelry they hauled up was a heavy, severely corroded lump of rock and metal. The crew tossed it into a crate, dismissing it as worthless sea debris. It sat ignored in the museum storage room for months until it suddenly cracked open. Hiding inside that rock were dozens of interlocking precision-cut bronze gears. The teeth on these gears were barely a millimeter long, arranged with mathematical perfection. This object, built around 70 BC, was an advanced analog computer. Packed into a wooden case about the size of a shoebox, this mechanism simulated the cosmos. By turning a small handle on the side, the machine mapped the positions of the known planets across the zodiac. It tracked the orbit of the moon and predicted solar and lunar eclipses years in advance, even indicating the color of the coming event. This mechanism contains mechanical complexity that humanity would not recreate for another 1,400 years. Because it was found on a standard cargo ship, rather than in a royal palace, it suggests the ancient world possessed levels of engineering that would remain unmatched for over a millennium. This loss of knowledge extends past mechanical gears and down into the building blocks of matter. In the 4th century, the artisans of the Roman Empire were experimenting with materials in a way modern science is only beginning to understand. This is the Lycurgus cup. When viewed in regular daylight, the glass appears to be a murky jade green. But if you hold it up to a light source or shine a flame from behind it, the glass transforms into a glowing blood red. For centuries, the mechanics behind this optical illusion were unknown. When scientists finally placed fragments of the glass under modern microscopes, they found that the Roman artisans had embedded exact proportions of gold and silver particles into the glass. Each particle measured just 50 nanometers in diameter, 1,000 times smaller than a grain of salt. Similar mastery appeared on the battlefields of the Middle Ages. Middle Eastern swordsmiths produced Damascus steel blades that shattered European broadswords in close combat. These weapons were covered in distinct, water-like swirling patterns and possessed such an edge that a falling silk scarf would be sliced in half by its own weight. The technique vanished by the mid-18th century. In 2006, scientists analyzed a genuine Damascus blade and found carbon nanotubes woven straight into the steel structure. These cylindrical structures of carbon atoms are among the strongest materials known to science, yet we only officially discovered them in 1991. These ancient and medieval artisans were executing deliberate nanotechnology, manipulating matter at a molecular level centuries before the invention of the electron microscope. It reveals a timeline of scientific discovery that is out of order. We can see this breakdown of knowledge in the infrastructure surrounding us today. The modern concrete we use to build our highways, bridges, and skyscrapers begins to crack and degrade after just 50 years of use. Compare that to the Pantheon in Rome. Its massive, unreinforced concrete dome has endured floods, earthquakes, and the rise and fall of empires. It has stood intact for nearly 2,000 years. Modern engineers initially assumed that the tiny white chunks found in Roman concrete, called limeclasts, were sloppy mixing errors. We knew the basic ingredients were volcanic ash and seawater, but the reason for the concrete's durability remained a mystery. Those supposed errors actually functioned as a sophisticated self-repair system. When cracks form in Roman concrete and rainwater seeps in, these specific chunks of lime dissolve and recrystallize, expanding to fill the fissure and patch the damage. The Romans engineered a construction material with an automatic maintenance system. By interacting with seawater and rain, their structures fortified their chemical structure over the centuries, triggered by the exact same water that destroys our modern cities. Knowledge is sometimes lost through negligence, but it can also be systematically erased. In 672 AD, a massive enemy fleet bore down on Constantinople, leaving the city's defenders facing a seemingly hopeless naval siege. The defenders sailed out and unleashed a stream of liquid fire across the waves. Using pressurized bronze tubes mounted on the bows of their ships, they projected a substance that engulfed enemy vessels in seconds. This substance, known as Greek fire, behaved unlike any known fuel. It ignited upon contact with water, adhered tightly to any surface it touched, and continued to burn even while submerged beneath the waves. For 800 years, this weapon served as the ultimate deterrent, its formula kept as a strictly guarded state secret. When the Byzantine Empire finally collapsed, that secret disappeared with it. Modern chemists have spent lifetimes trying to formulate a liquid that can be sprayed through a tube and ignite on water, but none have succeeded. The Byzantines utilized one of the most effective weapons in history for centuries, and then it was erased from existence. The gears of the Antikythera mechanism, the molecular magic of Roman glass, and the self-healing Pantheon stone dismantle the idea that history is a steady climb. Knowledge is remarkably fragile. Whole branches of science and engineering can be mastered, utilized in daily life, and then wiped from the earth, leaving nothing behind but corroded metal and crumbling stone. If our ancestors were capable of achieving these scientific milestones and still lost them entirely, our own civilization shares that exact same vulnerability. What piece of our modern world is destined to become the next impossible mystery, buried beneath the earth and waiting for someone to dig it up?